Hello and welcome to VideoNet's series of IBC 2016 interviews. I'm Barry Flynn, contributing editor at VideoNet, and with me I have Susan Elkington, consultant director of content at IBC 2016, who's had an illustrious career in the industry stretching back through Cello Media and Liberty Global, Polygram TV International, to BBC Worldwide and beyond. Susan, welcome.
Thank you.
As consultant director of content, I guess no one's better placed to tell us about the highlights of the show and conference this year. What have been your favourite sessions so far, and what session are you most looking forward to?
Gosh, well, we put together a 5-day programme, so we've had 435 speakers passing through over the 5 days. So we're in day 3. And I think I have enjoyed the programmes, the sessions where I have really learnt something completely new. For example, I don't have a production background, but I have sat in on a number of the VR sessions. And they have been superb in terms of really creative minds in the room talking about new forms of immersive storytelling. And I think it's also witnessing VR at its very, very early beginnings when people are saying, well, what is the language? How do we describe this? And people are saying, well, we're really having to make some of these terms up. Will we in a year from now be filming behind us? Do we care? And I really feel that's been very interesting to observe. Whilst I'm not a production person, I've really enjoyed those. So we've had 6 sessions. We've had 6 sessions running through the conference. 1 a masterclass, so I went to that and really enjoyed it. And I've enjoyed also the big, what I would say, the big vision and business strategy. So we've had Martin Solin, and he's been superb in terms of his view of some of the big developments, some of the growth areas, and some of the things that they're doing in WPP to bring together this successful company, to make the successful company that they've had. So it's down, I think, from some of those really specialist innovation areas to the very big strategic, visionary, leadership type keynotes. And so I've enjoyed really at both ends of the conference.
So out of what's happened so far, and out of the fact that you've put this program together, what trends are emerging from the conference side so far in terms of what speakers have been talking about and what they will be talking about for the rest of the conference? Anything grabbed your attention? Well,
we've had, I created a new stream called Platform Futures, and in that we've had Google TV, Netflix, NBC Universal, Deutsche Telekom, Vodafone. And the point was really to explore the point at which content is aggregated and delivered in sort of branded platforms to consumers. And that's been very interesting because you're either looking at aggregators like Google, or you're looking at Deutsche Telekom, which is a trad IPTV who's built out a content offering. And that has been very interesting because we really had everybody there. We didn't define what a platform was. A platform could be a device, it could be a Kindle, or it could be somebody like NBC Universal who's going OTT. So that has been very interesting, and I think that really appeals to my previous life in pay TV and with Liberty Global. So that I've enjoyed very much. And I think that dynamic change of what is still going on in online video, it's not new, but it just keeps developing. So that's been very exciting to keep up, to get up to date with what those platforms and what those brands are doing. And obviously Google TV was extremely interesting in terms of their plans in that space. And I think that will be I could see that being a mainstay of the conference going forward in terms of online video, because it just keeps developing and many models are still being tried out, from pay TV models, Netflix being OTT, but very much putting themselves inside the offers of major pay TV platforms. So we explored that. And I think that's really going to be something for us to stay with for the next few years.
Yeah, I mean the Netflix one. I was actually quite surprised when they talked about having 40 partnerships with NVPD players, you know, and it started off with just one, and that was Virgin Media, and so they're up to 40 now, which is amazing, isn't it?
Yes, I don't think there's a single market in Europe where they're not inside a major pay TV operator, and it's mainly telcos, say KPN, Belgacom, Deutsche Telekom, and I think that's been a very interesting strategic move for them. And so whilst they are still using their own back-end SMS system in most cases, I think it's been a really deliberate distribution strategy for them to move onto platforms. So that's a really interesting one, I think, to follow, and that's we've seen a real shift. So I don't think they're anywhere in Europe where I would say they're a pure OTT play. You know, they're signing themselves up and distributing as a content partner.
The other one that actually showed, you know, your point about the innovation going on was Hey-U's platform, and I thought, gosh, just reality TV and nothing but seems to be working. So that's, you know, those kind of experiments are going to, I guess, surprise us next year as well, what they can do. So you've added this kind of future platforms strand. So that will continue next year, you think? Anything else you're adding to the mix?
Well, what I did at the beginning of the year, I thought that we clearly have a focus on innovation and technology and how that is distributing content. So what I did at the beginning of the year, I basically created what I would say an editorial scaffold for 5 streams in the conference, and those streams follow a content value chain from content and production to platform futures. We stripped out, if you like, a part of what might be described as platform futures in audience and advertising and turned that into its own stream. And then we've had business transformation, which is really looking at IP, cloud, the underlying systems and enterprise design, which is really powering platforms and content aggregation and delivery. And then a very popular stream called Advances in Technology, in which we seek technical papers and they're peer reviewed. Yeah. So those 5 streams essentially were very organised into what might be called track days with thematic streams. Yeah. And I had an executive producer really working through ideas and themes back in February. And then we go into, if you like, a definition of session and topic and recruit speakers. So those 5 formed one core piece of the conference. And then the remaining 3 strands is we have a program for young people called, or young professionals joining, well, young people under 30s joining the industry, which is running over this weekend, which is very dynamic and very fun. I went to a couple of those sessions today, and they really are looking at the industry and joining it or in it and developing skills. And then we also have a Leader Summit, which is chaired by Andrew Neil, which we had on Thursday. Yep. And we had Dana Strong from Liberty Global, Transformation Officer, talking about change within Liberty and how she was achieving that. And we have our very popular big screen, which runs throughout the weekend, which looks at advanced technology in cinema. And we have just had Ang Lee today join us, and he's giving a keynote on Monday on, and we'll be talking about his creative artistry in cinema and how he has developed his vision, and will be telling us about his new film and showing us some clips from the new film, Billy Lynn's Long Half Mile Walk. So we're very excited about that, to have him with us.
So, that model seems to be serving you very well this year. So are you going to kind of keep that for next year, or are you going to add anything new, or maybe you haven't decided yet?
I think what we'll do is go back and we'll do a good review and look at some data and numbers in terms of where, it's very interesting where you see a packed room, and you see really people are seeking information, and also where the questions are coming from in the room. I really noticed that in a couple of sessions, in the VR sessions, you know, film studios in India are really wanting to seek information and learn more and share opinions about developing technologies. So I think we'll go back and do a good review. It takes really 4 quarters to produce a conference. So we will start again really in Q4 of this year of a review and then a plan for next year. And certainly keynotes need to be booked invariably a long time in advance. So we might have a few days off, but we'll go straight back straight back into planning for 2017.
Okay, so it's major enterprise. So congratulations on it so
Thank
far.
you.
I mean, I can't say there's a single session that I've attended which I haven't found compelling. So congratulations to the team.
Thank you.
Well, let's see what we have in store for us next year, and I guess we'll begin to see that sort of halfway through the spring, bit later than that.
Yes, we usually try to have something to talk about by NAB.
Yeah.
Usually,
okay.
so that's about middle of April. So that
Great.
puts a little bit of pressure on us early on in the year to make up our minds and focus and decide, and sort of ensure that we're following innovation. And the impactful change that it's making on content.
Great. Okay. Well, thanks very much for
Thank
sparing
you
the
very
time,
much.
Susan. And thank you, the audience, for tuning in to this VideoNet IBC 2016 video interview. And from Susan and myself, goodbye.